Join me now is Tina Blanco with WorldviewTalk.com. Tina, floods, pitiful, sad, heartbreaking, and the loss of life, approaching 300 people in Texas. Then we saw last night, we played last night on our Washington report, the floods in New Mexico. Tell us about what you're hearing, because I know you deal with a lot of emergency response stuff and first responders. What are you hearing, Tina? And by the way, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Brandon. Yeah, so I was in Texas. I was in Austin yesterday, and this is just such a tragedy because it's affecting children. And I have to say something about the camps, the summer camps that rent a lot of satellite phones from us, and we've been working with summer camps for nearly 20 years. They really are some of the most prepared people in the whole country, I think, because not only do they usually rent or buy or however one satellite phone, but they normally get a satellite phone for like an amount of kids, like say for every 5 kids, they have one satellite phone, whether it's for every teacher, every counselor, but they are pretty prepared with this. And I think we're going to find out later that a lot of the lives that were saved because they were able to communicate with first responders. Because when I was there, I was talking to Mike Adams, the cell phones, the cell towers were down in majority of those areas that were affected. Plus, when you're out in a rural area, there's no cell service to begin with.
So you're thinking we're going to find out that satellite phones maybe help save a lot of lives.
Yeah. So from our first responders, we're already getting some messages of that. I know, like with the Steve Slepcevic's team, we're sending more satellite phones because it is one of the ways that they can communicate. But it is a very heartbreaking, Brandon, because for me, I can't even watch the news anymore right now because I just can't stop thinking about my grandkids. And I can't even imagine what anyone is going through to lose their children.
I know.
It's just too much. The only thing that I could do is just pray.
Mm-hmm. My wife and I have said the same thing you're saying. How does a family handle that, deal with that, cope with that? We talked about that quite a bit over the weekend. And you think about whatever problems we may have in our life and issues we've had recently with the IRS, coming after us and wanting almost $50,000 that's not rightfully theirs. And my wife, said, well, let's put it in context. At least our kids are alive, right? We're not grieving the loss of a child right now. And she's right. It's when you start putting things into perspective, I'll take my problems versus what those families are dealing with, right? And you're right. My wife and I commented about that. How do these parents get on with their life afterwards? And we both agreed their lives will never be the same. Never be the same. They'll learn to cope with it, but they will never be the same.
Yeah. And the only thing I think that you and I can do, because, as you know, we both follow Jesus.
Right.
And the only thing that we could do is just trust in him and pray for the people.
Yeah.
And trust in him. And that's about the only thing that's keeping me, going with the more we learn about this. Because again, I just look at the grandkids and I just say, God, this is just too painful to be able to take as a human, knowing that the moms and dads and the grandparents, what they have to go through when they send their kids to these camps. You send them to these camps so that they could learn and they become better people. And yeah, so it is definitely something that's a little bit hard to handle. And the only thing that I could do is pray and provide communication, whether it's for first responders to the local churches, and just ask people to just be more prepared. Brandon, we're noticing so many customers that are calling us, especially from the state of Texas, to either get satellite phones or reactivate satellite phones that they currently had that they didn't need for all these years, and then all of a sudden they need them. We just tell people, you know what, it's better to be prepared. It's not that costly. The phone is free. You just have to pay the monthly service. It's not that much. I think it starts out like around $80 a month. You will own the phone after 12 or 15-month agreement. I think the way we have it set up in our system is the agreement is just a month after our break even with giving the satellite phone for free so that you don't have to have a huge cost up front.
Put up there, if you would, guys, worldviewtalk.com. We'll just have them go right there, worldviewtalk.com. Did you know yesterday, by the way, I was searching cell towers down, numerous reports that yesterday 911 voice service is down in Central Florida. They're prompting users to text them instead. So there you go. Cell towers are down.
And
it was 911.
Like,
I'm sorry, it was 911 voice service that was down. But then we were hearing that all mobiles, 911, non-emergency phone lines are currently down across Central Florida. That was yesterday. So we're getting several reports of these things. So whether it's cell towers down, 911 down, I mean, who are you going to call if you have no cell tower? I mean, you're going to be in big trouble. I was in an area a year ago for a few days, and you could not get a cell signal. And if you could, it would only hold for a couple seconds. But thankfully, I had one of your satellite phones, and I was able to conduct business. It wasn't anything life-threatening, but can you imagine needing help and you can't even get a cell tower? And with your satellite phones, as long as you're outside, you're going to get a cell tower. You're going to get a satellite, right?
Right. So cell phones work on about 7% of the earth. Satellite phones will work on 100% of the earth. And as we learned in Lahaina and doing fires, 911 was completely down. They have zero backup satellite, which really kind of surprised me that our emergency services have no satellite backup. It's just basically, Brandon, you are on your own. If a big fire happens or a big emergency happens throughout the country, there's no one that's going to come and help you. You are on your own. The fire department's going to be trying to take care of their own families. Look, take care of yourself. Prepare food, water, communication. Be prepared because you're gonna be responsible to saving your own family. Mm-hmm. If things happen, no one's gonna help you. And as you saw what happened in Lahaina and what you're saying, that with the 911 services not having satellite backup, it really, really surprises me that they don't. And hopefully, with all of this that's happening, maybe things are going to change. And hopefully some of these emergency services will start getting some satellite backup, even Starlink. Look, we have Starlink for free. All you have to do is just go to the website that you just mentioned, and you just pay the monthly service. So there's no high upfront cost for this. These used to be, $5,000-$6,000 to get these phones. They're not that expensive anymore. They're around $1,300-$1,400, but because the cost has come down, we are able to take the price down to zero and just pay a monthly fee, a small monthly fee until the price of the phone is paid for. Then you're just month to month.
Excellent. Tell me real quick about your various solar generators.
Yeah, so we're also, that's another thing, we're also getting a huge amount of orders for generators currently for the state of Texas. But you don't have to be in Texas. We all need to be prepared, Brandon. We need to have at least one generator, solar panel. The 400-watt solar panel will charge any generator or any of your electronics so quickly. It is so easy to carry, and it's portable. It folds, so you can just take it out and face it toward the sun, and you can just move it throughout the day. But I mean, we all definitely need to be a little bit more prepared. for electricity, for communication, for just about everything. I think you have a list of things, right, that you have to
Yep,
be prepared in
absolutely.
event of a major emergency such as this. And anything can happen anywhere. You could be in California, there could be a huge earthquake. We're so due for earthquake. Even a lot of the plates in the Midwest, like around along the Mississippi River
Yep.
right now, those are pretty active. So there could be something happening there, tornadoes, hurricane, floods. It's so easy for our cell towers are so fragile, but you cannot take the satellite phone down. The satellite phone connect direct to the satellite. You go outside, you extend this, and now you have direct connection. This is your cell tower, by the way. It can't go down because it's stored in your pocket or it's stored in your house or in your car. So no weather or anything is gonna take your cell tower down. You take this outside, you go outside, it doesn't matter where you are on Earth, the phone does not care where you are. There's no extra fees if you're in the middle of the ocean or if you're in Antarctica or in Africa. It doesn't matter. The phone will still work as long as your cell tower can be outside so it can reach the satellite.
Yep, because I've done it. And you know what I love about your plan is you allow the minutes to roll over. So when I'm not using it, all those minutes are still rolling over. So if there's a time where I have to use a ton of minutes, I'm not going to have to worry.
Yeah, and then we've noticed that, last year during Hurricane Helene, that people that had a lot of rollover minutes, thousands of minutes that accumulated because they didn't need the phone for 5 years, were able to help out the whole neighborhood. They handed the phone out to thousands of people to make a call to their friends and family to let them know that they were okay, and also to be able to communicate with first responders. Same thing we're seeing right now in Texas with people communicating with first responders so that they can be, they can be saved, their lives, their children, and just an amazing thing that's happening right now. But we can be more prepared, and I think the camps, again, I think these guys are so good at prepping, and I think the tragedy that happened could have been a lot worse if these people weren't prepared. But man, these are some of the most prepared association that I've seen in my industry as far as communication.
Are you being aside from the people that are in tough situations like Florida or New Mexico, are you overall getting a lot of business? Are people waking up? Is there any kind of heightened sense that we might want to start preparing for anything?
Yeah, we are. We're seeing a high volume of satellite phones being purchased right now because people are starting to recognize that it doesn't matter what your cell phone does. It doesn't matter if it has satellite texting. All of that is wiped out when a disaster happens. Everything that's on the ground, it could be taken out. Satellites, when you have your own cell tower and it's secured inside your car, or your cell tower is secured inside your house, nothing is going to take this down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we are seeing across the country, we're seeing a huge sale, especially in Florida, the Carolinas, everywhere where there's a potential floods or hurricane or bad weather. But look, we need to be prepared. It doesn't matter where you live because you never know. There's no way of knowing where an emergency could happen. So it's always good to be prepared. All you need is one person in a community that has a satellite phone, and you could be that one person that has the satellite phone in event of emergency. You can be the person that helps all of your neighbors in your community.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been doing a lot last couple of days. Many experts, former intelligence people are warning about an imminent attack on America from Al-Qaeda. They're being very specific as to what group, although the names really don't matter. As Dave Gobbets has told us, call them what you want. They're really all the same ideology. They use all these different names really just to confuse people and cause people to say, I don't know who these groups are. I can't keep up. I can't tell one from the other. And you just kind of just say, and you kind of tune it out. So the names aren't really important. It's the ideology, the agenda. But we're hearing from people like Sarah Adams and others that are saying that these folks are specifically going to target airplanes again. And they're going with what's called invisible bombs. And she's explaining it in more detail today on her Twitter feed. where it's like a syringe, and the syringe has a tube that goes to something else, and you push that device in there. There's no metal in it, so they're calling them invisible, so you can sneak on the planes with them. And she and others are claiming Al-Qaeda they're here, they have these, and they're preparing to use them on airlines. I know you deal with a lot of people in the preparation field, in the first responder field. Are you hearing anything about this or about an imminent attack this year?
I'll tell you what I'm seeing as far as prepping by these, like the government and some of the large companies. First, I want to say that I do travel a lot. And the last 2 times that I've traveled, I haven't had to take my shoes off. So I'm really excited about that. But
it should also scare you, because Sarah Adams, these people are saying this is the time everybody should be taking their shoes off, because these scanners aren't picking up these so-called invisible bombs.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I'll tell you what I have been seeing. I have been seeing a lot of large organizations that are asking and asking for quote for a large amount of Faraday products. I don't know why. Like we're getting, it's not like 100, it's thousands of them. They're asking on these Faraday products. So I'm not sure if we're preparing for an EMP attack, or there could be a solar flare attack. I don't really know, but I do know that there has been a lot of requests for these. And
so when you say, I'm not asking you to give out a name, but are these government? Are these private organizations, private businesses? Who's asking?
It's both.
So you got the government. The government is seeking to order up large quantities of Faraday bags.
Yeah, Faraday products. What they're asking for these Faraday products that blocks 5G, 2G, any kind of notification. So basically, as you know, just so that we can go through what these Faraday bags are. The Faraday bags blocks the signal. So it does 3 things. It protects from EMF, so you're not generating EMF to your body when you're not using the phone. It protects from EMP attack. So if there is an EMP or solar where it takes out all electronics, everything that's inside of a Faraday bag will be protected. And it gives you your security. So as you know, when you have a cell phone and you power off, let's say you want privacy, you want to go off the grid, you don't want anybody to track you. When you power your phone off, your smartphone off, you're still being tracked for up to 72 hours because there's a low mode battery for tracking. Apple still can track you, your location. If you put your phone on airplane mode, you can still be tracked. But the second you put your phone in here, tracking 100% stops. Nobody can see your location. So it does those 3 things. Plus, it's good for your health, especially when you're sleeping at night. You want to put your phone next to your bed. You want to put it in here so you can still hear the alarm. You can still hear the music if you want. But guess what? There's 0 radiation coming to your body. If you try that for 1 week, you will notice that you will not have headaches. A lot of people that get headaches every day, they think that they need a cup of coffee. Well, no, you're exposing yourself. You put the phone right next to your head. Guess what you're doing? And there's a lot of people that put the phone under their pillow and they listen to music. And I'm just like, don't do that. So those have been really big. Also, if people can go to darkbags.com, and just say, they heard us or from you, Brandon. They can order all of these. We also have these large duffel bags. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let me show you. These are huge duffel bags.
Yeah, they are.
That can fit your generator, your computer. These things are really big. I think we sent you a couple. I'm not sure if you've gotten them yet.
No, I haven't.
We just got these in. Yeah, we just got these in. So protect at least 1 generator so that in case we do have an EMP attack, you'll have 1 generator that will work. And then we have them for the solar panel, so at least protect one of your solar panels. So the big one for the solar panel will fit your largest solar panel, which is the 400 watts. So it fits anything from a 10 watt to a 400 watt. You can go to darkbacks.com and get those. And then, put everything in there at night and lock everything up so that you're not generating, even your computer modem, your Wi-Fi modem, put everything in this bag at night when you go to sleep. This way you give your whole family a way to be away from EMF during the 8 hours that you're not using the electronics anyways. So these duffel bags are really nice, but we made them big enough so that they can fit the largest generator that you could possibly have.
Excellent. Great idea. Wow. Very concerning. Corporations and the government agencies are asking and ordering from you quantities of Faraday bags.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Worldviewtalk.com, also darkbags.com, and worldviewtalk.com. Or you can use that number, 1-866-738-3224. Did I get it right, guys? That was by memory.
You did.
Okay, good.
Oh, sorry. Brandon, can I just ask something too?
Yeah.
Because it's the show's in the evening, I have very few employees working. We actually like to answer all of our calls if we can, because we actually have humans. We don't have machines that take calls.
Right.
If you can place your order online, one of my agents will give you a call within 24 hours anyways. They'll give you a call, make sure that you got the right product, so you can do that. You can also, if you call in the evening, and the phone rings because, we have a few people, you can also call in the morning. But I highly recommend that you go to the website that you just mentioned and darkbacks.com and place your order. We're going to call you anyways to confirm everything with you, to make sure that you got the right products. So that's kind of my recommendation to you.
Excellent. Worldviewtalk.com, worldviewtalk.com. Tina, as always, thank you, and thank you for what you're doing to help the first responders in New Mexico and Texas.
Thank you so much.
Tina Blanco
God
with
bless
Worldview
you.
Talk. God bless you, Tina. Tina checking in tonight, folks. All right, we'll be right back after this break.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. I want to thank you for all your support at wvwfoundation.com that helps make possible pushing out 24/7 content for free. Without your support, we'd have to put it all behind a paywall. But thanks to you and your support through our foundation, we're able to push it out for free as a broadcast service and broadcast ministry of WVW Foundation. Please consider going there and setting up an automatic monthly contribution, or go there and make an occasional contribution. If you prefer to support us through the mail, you'll find our mailing address there at wvwfoundation.com. You can also call and make your contribution over the phone by calling 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652. Again, all these details are available at wvwfoundation.com. Thank you for your support as we try to help people around the world understand the times through the lens of a Christian worldview.